Hey everybody, welcome back to Black Lotus, where we talk about all things strange and unusual. And today we are going to be talking about haunted saloons and restaurants. And we're both old bartenders.
We're both old for sure.
Yeah, well, there. But I mean, in the bars you've worked at, now you only worked one bar, didn't you?
Actually, I worked 3 bars.
Oh, did you? Oh, I thought it was just Robbie's.
No, but I've worked other ones. But Robbie's was haunted.
Was it?
Yeah, there was a lady in white that used to be seen there.
Why is it always a lady in white? You ever notice that? Yeah. But so did you ever witness anything there?
I would see things out of the corner of my eye there.
Would you?
Yeah, you swear someone's standing there and you look around and there's no one there.
Yeah.
You feel someone looking at you in the kitchen. And supposedly it's when somebody had fallen from the top of the stairs.
Oh, really?
They haunt the place too, yeah.
Ah, really?
Remember that big spiral staircase that went upstairs?
Yeah.
They fell right into the fountain.
I can see how that would have happened.
Yeah.
Very, very kind of rickety. But, I mean, all the places that I bartended, I've never witnessed anything. And, I'm kind of sensitive to that kind of stuff. But, I mean, and even when I was working the bars in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, you'd think I would have seen something there, but, I never did. And we're going to be talking about one of those bars in a little bit, Lafittes Blacksmith shop. But but before we get into it today, I do want to remind everybody that we have a group over at Facebook, and it's called the Black Lotus Discussion Group. And everything we talk about here, we talk about over there. And you can get involved with it, and you can talk to paranormal experts and ufologists and people that are really involved with cryptids and that sort of thing. So I'm going to drop a link for that in the description, so you can just click on that and come over and join. I think you'd really enjoy it. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to us, and also share. We really appreciate the shares. Anyway, so let's get into it, man. I think the first thing we should probably talk about today is right here at home in Nevada, and that's the Pioneer.
Right, in Good Springs, Nevada.
Good Springs, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You might know it from the Ghost Adventurers did a episode on it in 2013.
Did they?
Yeah, they did a lockdown for the night there. The bars, what it's mostly known for, is there's actually 3 ghosts there. One of them is Carol Lombard. Supposedly Clark Gable sat there and drank at the bar for 2 days, waiting to hear news about his wife, he was married to Carol Lombard. And of course she was killed in the plane crash, but that was about 5 miles from this bar back in 1942.
Oh, yeah.
So she supposedly goes there and looks for him.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I thought that was interesting. But it's a 100-year-old saloon, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of ghosts there.
Oh, yeah. Now, that's right across the street from that clown motel.
No, actually, no, it's a different city.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I looked into that. That was a different place.
Because I know that there's a saloon that is across the street from that clown motel, and, there's that big Pioneer cemetery.
Yeah, I forget what cemetery or what bar it was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I looked it up, and I totally forgot now.
But it's supposed to be more haunted than that clown motel, I guess. Yeah, so... but anyway,
but there was a bunch of bullet holes in the bar on Pioneer, and supposedly the victim of that gunshot haunts the place. And there's also a miner that haunts the place, an old miner. And Zach Brannigan's, was it
Bannigan?
Bannigan, okay.
No. Zach Baggin.
Baggins. I knew that sounded
Baggins.
wrong. Yeah. He went there, and they contacted another spirit named Ruby while they were there during their lockdown.
Okay.
And there's also they hear the voice of a 6-year-old child has been heard there.
Oh, is that right?
So there's been lots of little things going on over there. But what I thought was really unique about this place is you can actually go and have your own ghost adventure hunting there. Mm-hmm. They do overnight stays. It's $149 a person. And they have the equipment for you to use. You don't even have to bring your own equipment.
Really?
Yeah. So you can actually go ghost hunting by yourself right there.
Maybe something we should do.
That would be fun.
Wow.
But I thought that was interesting that, they actually allow you to do that.
Because I think that's one thing that's holding us back from doing any kind of paranormal investigations is the lack of equipment.
Right.
It'd be one thing for us just to go there and go, well, do you feel something? Do you feel something? Oh, what's that?
Look, there's a shadow.
But What about Captain Tony's over in Key West?
Oh, Captain Tony's in Key West. Now that's that's an interesting story. That started off, excuse me, in the 1800s. And I mean, it went from everything from an ice house, a cigar factory. It was a speakeasy. It was a brothel, all before it was Captain Tony's. But what it originally started at was a city morgue.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
well,
it makes
small wonder that it's haunted.
Right. It would make sense why it's haunted. I guess people from Ernest Hemingway, Truman Capote, Jimmy Buffett all used to go drinking there. But before, when it was a morgue, they also had a hanging tree there.
Oh, really?
Right. There was 16 pirates hung there, and a woman who was accused of killing her husband and child with a knife. She chopped up her kids and everybody into pieces.
Nice.
She supposedly haunts the place, and she'll come around. She's called the Lady in Blue because she wore a blue dress when she did the crime.
Okay.
She supposedly comes over and taps people on the shoulder all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want some old lady that's killed everybody to come tap me on the shoulder.
You on the shoulder, yeah, right. You're next.
Back when right before it became Tony's, it actually even had a hurricane, which washed some of the bodies away, and they had to rebury the bodies into the room that were there.
Oh wow!
But then they built and got bigger and bigger, and they built over where all those bodies were. So, like I said, it's no wonder it's haunted.
Yeah, really, no doubt. So I looked into the saloons, the old saloons and taverns in Portland, Oregon, and you know I used to live there,
right?
And I knew of one, but apparently there's a whole bunch of them, and and it's because Portland was a Shanghai town. They had these Shanghai tunnels under these bars, and what people would do is they'd go in for a drink, and they get knocked out. They drag them through the tunnels, and next thing you know, they're in the middle of the Pacific.
Right.
And so, but anyway, there's a lot of hauntings that go on there, and probably the most famous one there is the Old Town Pizza and Brewing, and it's known to be haunted by this ghost by the name of Nina, and she worked there about 100 years ago when the Merchant Hotel operated the place, and it was a brothel, and she was a lady of the night. And apparently she was either tripped down the elevator shaft or she was pushed. It hasn't been determined yet, really. But she's seen in the dining room in a black dress a lot.
Oh, not a white dress, a black one.
No, it's a white dress. However, the owner of the place, Adam Milne, said that an employee once saw a typical lady in white around closing time. And when he went around the corner to tell her, we're closing up, there was nobody there. But anyway, that's at the Old Town Pizza, and I know I remember when I lived there, I heard that was notoriously haunted. But another one there is the White Eagle Saloon and Hotel, and it opened in 1905, and again, it was one of those settings that it was a very rough and tumble area. Portland wasn't always the liberal kind of place that it is today. I mean, it was once, it was a sailor's hangout.
Right.
And, so it was a lot of stuff. And the place was nicknamed back then the Bucket of Blood. So that shows you how much violence went on there. But according to one employee, a waitress once fell down the stairs by way of some unknown force, resulting in not much, but it was bruising. But they don't know but that was the only violent incident that happened at that place, but they have seen a lot of other ghosts there. And then there's a restaurant there. It also sits above the Shanghai tunnels, and it's called Mamma Mia Trattoria, and it's a beautiful restaurant. Let me show you a picture of this. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous restaurant, with the chandeliers and a very fine dining Italian restaurant. And the tunnels apparently have been closed off from the basement, like they would be. But according to the owner, Barry Brown, hauntings still linger as the basement is believed to have setting for an opium den at one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so apparently, it was common for when people were in the midst of opium high, they would often die. They would just stop breathing. And so they think that a lot of people died there, not just because of the violence, but also because of that. And
okay.
So
and
ghosts
they're the ones who ghost.
Say again?
They're the ones who are the ghosts.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. And but yeah, and it's kind of creepy because the owner reveals that he caught an unexplainable white form floating back and forth on the surveillance camera, and he's also watched chairs and tables move across the room. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of creepy, but
it's interesting how these places gather after so many years of being there. They gather different ghosts from different things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No,
so it doesn't surprise me that these places are haunted.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. But you found something on the Norwich Inn, didn't you?
Yeah, the Norwich Inn is in Vermont. It was built in 1797, and Mary Walker was the owner there. She was there during the late 20s, during the height of Prohibition, and they would actually serve alcohol down in their basement. And even Dr. Seuss was rumored to have gone drinking there.
Dr. Seuss?
Dr. Seuss.
Is that right?
Yeah. But
it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, is right. I don't know if I'd go drinking there, though, because I guess customers and staff report that the taps turn on by themselves, the rocking chairs will move by themselves, and they'll hear, like, noises at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which, I mean, could be the house settling, but you never know. But what I thought the weirdest thing that happened was one of the guests in the inn, because you could stay there, it's actually an inn also, she said she knocked a glass of water that was full off of her nightstand, and she found it upright and still filled with water underneath her bed.
Oh, really?
I thought that was kind of weird. Ghost was helping the glass from making a mess, I guess.
Well, I had mentioned to you that I never saw anything in New Orleans at the bars I worked at, but we did have an issue with one of the taps turning on. But we found out why, and it is because the handle on the tap was top heavy, and it wasn't tightened up enough. But I mean, we would go in the morning, and to open up, and the damn thing's running. I mean, and so, I mean, God only knows how much beer we wasted.
Right.
Jeez. But anyway, let's talk about one place in New Orleans, and that's the Lafittes Blacksmith shop. And New Orleans is notoriously haunted. But in fact, in one of our previous episodes, we were talking about haunted hotels, and we were talking about the Bourbon Orleans Hotel,
right.
And that's probably the most haunted place on Bourbon Street. But this place, Lafittes Blacksmith Shop, it's one of the oldest buildings in the French Quarter, and it's probably one of the most haunted anyway. But the Lafittes Blacksmith Shop the name of it comes from the fact that the pirate Jean Lafitte once owned it, and it was a blacksmith shop, but he used it as a money laundering place kind of thing.
Okay.
But he also was like kind of a local hero there.
Really?
Yeah, because he helped New Orleans defend itself from the invading English. He was kind of a hero, kind of a well-liked guy, but he was also known to be a loan shark. He was a pirate after all, right?
Right.
And so he used the blacksmith shop as a place to extort money and to but he's one of the few ghosts that you hear about that were full body apparitions. Usually you see like a mist or something like that, or you catch just a glimpse of the lady in white or something like that going by just out of the corner of your eye and that kind of thing. But he's actually a full body apparition, but he never interacts with anybody. When you see him, you just see him in the corners. The dark corners.
Okay.
And what will happen is if you notice him, he'll look at you and then disappear. Yeah. So there's also a woman who apparently haunts the upstairs to the place. And what she'll do is, you were talking about the ghost that'll come and tap you on the shoulder.
Right.
She'll come up and she'll whisper your name in your ear.
Oh.
Yeah. So, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't do anything else, but she will do that apparently, and a lot of people have reported this. But the weirdest thing I think about Lafittes blacksmith shop, excuse me, is that there are apparently some phantom red eyes, and they're completely disembodied. There's no figure attached to it. It's just these red eyes, and again, they're reported to be seen in the dark corners of the place. And if you make contact with this thing, if you make eye contact, it'll apparently look you dead in the eyes and then slowly fade away.
Yeah, that's spooky.
Yeah.
I don't go for no red eyes.
Kind of like Jody from Amityville Horror.
Exactly.
But kind of a creepy. I think all of New Orleans is a pretty creepy place, really. But that in particular, I mean, yeah.
Well, what I thought was interesting is, I figured, okay, well, we're gonna do something on haunted bars and stuff. I didn't think there would be that many to choose from. There are tons of them out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, they're all over the place. But
we do a part 2, a part 4, a part 8. Oh, my God,
yeah. I mean, if we wanted to make a, hour and a half episode, we would probably get through most of them anyway. But these were the ones that, I mean, we both found kind of pretty fascinating.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. So, but anyway, let's get out of here, man.
Sounds good.
Well, folks, thanks a lot for watching. And as always, until next time, keep thinking and question everything.